essentially, if you're going through the process to get a concealed carry permit, this bill doesn't change who can get one. All this bill simply does is, as you know, Maryland, the state police set the standard of who can receive a concealed carry permit. The standard is still a good and substantial reason. They have it listed out. You go through the process, doesn't change it. Right now, and I know this because I'm going through it personally myself, I'm applying for one. You have to go out and first do the training, and then you have to apply. I know I'm getting my check out. I'm sending my $75 to the state police. I already did my training. I paid money for that. But I have no idea if the state police are going to sign off on me or not. All this bill simply asks the state police is to do a preliminary approval. So I could have gone to them before I spent a couple $100 in training and before I cut them my $75 check, and they'd look at it and they'd say, no, Mr. Hough, you do not have a good and substantial reason. You're not going to fall under one of these categories. Just don't even waste your time. Or they'd say, yeah, actually, you work as a private security guard, or you work as a armed car, carrier, and so you will be, under this situation, you'll be looking at approval for this, and they'll give you a preliminary approval. Now, if you look at the bill on page 3, preliminary approval does not mean you get to carry a concealed carry permit. And I don't know why the Attorney General now for the second or third year in a row has submitted testimony in opposition. I don't know what they're doing, because if you look at the third page of it, it clearly says nothing in this may be construed to authorize the issuance of a permit without the completion of a certified training course under subsection A of this section. So basically, all it is telling the person, it's like the good housekeeping seal of approval. Hey, you're good to go. Go ahead and do your training and get everything. Then we'll give you the permit. It doesn't change anything other than just having people not having to go and waste, hundreds of dollars. It takes a number of hours to get one of these permits, as far as the classroom time. Like I did it. I sat in the classroom. I learned, all the stuff about firearms, learned a lot about firearm law, even more than I knew going into it. You learned about DC firearm law, Virginia. We learned a whole lot. And so long story short, this is all it's doing is it's like a customer service, good government type approval. So with that, I'll be happy to, however you want, Mr. Chairman, take questions or turn it over to the panel.
So we're going to turn it over to the panel, take questions at the end. So thank you, Senator Hough. Next, we'll have Mr. Pennick. I saw you over there. Mark, you're up next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm Mark Pennick. I'm the president of Maryland Show Issue. This bill we support wholeheartedly. It just makes a lot of sense. Last year, the Senate passed this bill 46-0. And the reason that was so uncontroversial is that it doesn't change Maryland's very rigorous standard for issuance of a carry permit. You still have to have a good substantial reason. You still have to do this 16 hours of training. Now, I'm an instructor for that training. I have done these courses. These courses are hard to find, and they're very expensive. People typically will charge up to $400 a person for a class. And classes are hard to get together because everyone understands that these permits are seldom issued by the state police. It is simply a matter of fairness for an applicant to have an idea whether or not they are able to obtain a permit before they spend all of that money on classes. The classes do take a lot of time. They do involve a lot of live fire. They do involve a lot of investment of time and energy. So for the reasons that this committee passed it last year, and for the reasons the Senate passed it 46-0 last year, we urge the committee to do likewise this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pennick. And next we will have there you go, Katie. There you are. There you are.
Hey, thanks, everyone.
Oh, sorry, you're muted again. Let's unmute you. There you go.
All right, there we go. Sorry, sitting in my truck outside of work. So Katie Novotny, District 7. It's good to see you guys again. So I'm support this bill. Same reasons as Mark and Senator Hough have said. It just makes really good sense. It's really hard to find classes right now. We've got social distancing requirements because of COVID. Ammunition is incredibly hard to find right now and it's very expensive. And so it just makes a lot of sense for people to be able to have preliminary approval before taking the time for, this 16-hour class that is, as Mark referenced, is quite expensive. So I support this bill.
Thank you, Ms. Novotny. Good to see you. All right. We will now move on to Mr. Weber. Daniel, you're up next.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. It is fantastic to see you all again. I wish it were in person, but we know how that goes. I urge a favorable report on this bill. When the District of Columbia adopted their carry permit laws, they modeled them after Maryland's, except they made one big difference, and that difference is they actually do the preliminary approval from the head. That is a change that they had from Maryland law. And I think they saw that as completely fair, just as the majority of the Senate did unanimously last year. So as an instructor, I do know that people have a lot of uncertainty when they go through this process. It is a long and rigorous one. So for these reasons, I urge a favorable report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. All right, rounding us out, we'll go on to Mr. Michael Burke. I see Mr. Burke. I do not. Okay, Sandy, am I missing Mr. Burke? All right, seeing that Mr. Burke is not here.
I don't see him.
Okay, great, thank you. So that'll seeing no questions, that'll end the testimony in the hearing for Senate Bill 309. We don't always agree on gun bill legislation, but I've actually been the floor leader on this bill for the last 4 or 5 years. So maybe we'll see what happens this year. All right. Thank you, Senator Hough. We'll now move on to the last bill of the day.